A very good afternoon, dear students. I hope you all are safe at your place. I, Professor Sonal Agrawal, welcome you all on the digital platform of Agrawal Vidya Vihar English Medium College. This is the lecture for the subject Indian Banking and Currency System Paper 5. What we did in the last lecture, I just want to brief out in short that in the last lecture we have started with the topic that is the problem faced by the nationalized bank. I hope you remember the meaning of the nationalized bank, that the conversion of the private sector bank into the public sector bank is called the nationalized bank. Yeah? So what are the problems that is faced by the nationalized bank? In this topic we have discussed the first 3 points. That first one is the decline profitability of the public sector bank. Second is the declining efficiency of the public sector bank, and the third is the banking facilities are still inadequate. These 3 points we have discussed in the last lecture here. So what we did in the first point, that is the declining profitability of public sector bank. In this point we have discussed the different causes of the low profitability of the nationalized bank. In that we discussed these all points in detail. Clear? Now these points we have discussed in detail. The second point is about the decline efficiency of the public sector bank. In that we have discussed some of the reasons of decline efficiency of public sector bank. And third, we have discussed about the banking facilities are still inadequate. Why? Because as the number of banks and number of branches are increasing, with the same time the population of the country is also increasing. And we have discussed this fact with the relation of data that in India, the number of bank branches for 1 lakh adult is just 10.5%, which is quite low comparison to the other countries in world. So this thing we have discussed in the last lecture. Now today we are going to continue with the fourth topic, that is the problem arising out of the rural branch expansion policy. Here we know that the nationalized bank having one objective, that the number of the banks and number of the branches should increase, but with the same time the coverage of the area should also increase. Means they want to start the new banks and the new branches, especially in the unbanked areas and the rural areas. So more and more areas can be connected with the banking facilities. So, with the time of fulfilling this objective, what are the problems that is actually faced by the nationalized bank is a close examination of the branch expansion policy of nationalized bank in rural areas reveals the same some of the unsatisfactory features. So, here the first feature is while opting the rural branches, it is observed that more and more branches of the public sector bank are appeared that they are concentrating or fulfilling the physical targets only, just to opening the new branches in the you can say rural areas and unbanked areas. They are not actually providing the good banking services to those areas. They are just fulfilling the target. And the second, that is the unsatisfactory characteristics or the problem, you can say that the quality and the quantity of the staff that are appointed in the rural banks, yeah, that is the quality and the quantity is not appropriate. According to the qualities, they are not having the efficient training and they are not having the skills to perform the banking operations. And with the quantity, we can discuss that as per the requirements of the staff in that particular areas, the number of the actual staff which we are appointed were less. Here, so quantity were less comparison to the requirements, and the quality is not good, or you can say inadequate with the comparison of the quality of the staff that is appointed in the urban areas. So this is the second disadvantages, or you can the second problem which is faced by the rural branches. And the third is about the lack of the in coordination between the staff and the persons who are living in the village areas or the rural areas. The coordination, or you can say the bonding, is not good. One of the main reason of this is that the employees or the staff, they are preferring to stay in the nearby town here. They want to follow the conventional time of the working hours here. So this is a, you can say, the priority of the employees. But according to the farmers' point of view, they prefer the banking facilities, especially in the early morning and the evening times. Why? Because they got the time to use the banking facilities in early morning and evening. The remaining hours they are busy in their farming activities, and especially they require the banking work on the market days, not all the days of the year. So this is the requirement of the farmers, and the requirements of the farmers and the preference given by the employees is quite different. And because of this reason, the bonding between the staff and the villagers are not good. So this may be the reasons that this is a problem faced by the rural areas. Which are the first thing, that the nationalized bank are focusing on the physical target only. They are not focusing on the actual providing good services to the rural areas. The second limitation is that the quality and the quantity of the staff that is appointed in the rural banks are not good. Here, the quantity is less comparison to the requirement, and the quality is not good. They are not having any proper training and the skills to provide the banking facilities. And the third limitation is that the coordination between the banking staff and the villagers are not good. The banking staff prefers to stay in the nearby town and they prefer their conventional time to work their banking business. But the need of the farmers are quite different. They need the banking facilities in early morning and evenings, and they need especially the banking work on the market days. And this need of the farmers are not able to fulfill by the employees or the staffs of the rural branches. So this is the limitations, or you can say the problem that is faced by the rural branch expansion policies. The third limitation and the problem is about the regional imbalances in the branch expansion. As we all know that the nationalized bank was started with the one of the main objective to remove these regional imbalances. We have discussed on the topic of the objectives of the nationalization of the banks. So here we have discussed that in that point we have discussed the topic that is to remove the regional imbalances. So this is one of the main objective to start the nationalized bank or to convert the private sector bank into the public sector bank. But actually, this objective is just on the paper. Here, actually, they are not doing anything to remove these types of limitations. A study of the branch expansion program of the nationalized bank says that this more and more branches they are focusing on the developed and the industrial states of the western and the southern regions, while the poor and the backward states are derived the less benefit of this branch expansion program. Here the data says or the information says, you can see on the second paragraph that most of the new branches or new banks offices has been opened in the states like the Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal. Here, while the less attention given to the states like the Assam, Bihar, Orissa, Rajasthan, UP, MP, Jammu and Kashmir. So you can see that according to the analysis done by the committee that most and most banks and most branches we are open in already developed states. They are focusing less on the underdeveloped states. So this is maybe the limitation and this is the problem faced. What we are discussing, you can say the limitations. Here we have discussed the objectives of the nationalized bank, and that objective is not achieved actually. Here that unachieved objective is now the limitations. Here, so you can say we are revising the same topic, regional imbalances we are discussing the objective. Here this is to achieve. If it is not achieved, then it will be the limitations. Here, I hope you understood. First thing, if you want to achieve something, so that is the objective. If you are not able to achieve with your policy, then it is the limitations of the policy. So the same point we are discussing twice, in the objective also and in the limitations also. The next limitation or the next problem that is faced by the nationalized bank is about the deposit mobilization in the rural areas that is still not sufficient. Here, as we discussed in the objective, that one of the main objective is to increase the deposit mobilization rate in the rural areas. But again, the same thing that this objective is again on the paper. The marketable increase, we know that the banks are increasing, bank branches are increasing, at the same time coverage of the banks is increasing. Number of the customer of the bank is also increasing. So ultimately, the total bank deposit in the hand of the bank is increasing, and at the same time, the bank composition is also changed. But with the increase in the bank deposit in the recent year, the analysis say that the substantial increase in the bank deposit has come mainly through the urban areas, but not from the rural areas. So the increase in the deposit mobilization rate and the bank deposit rate is just because of the increase of the deposit from the urban areas, not from the rural areas. The analysis says that out of the total deposits, only 30% of the deposits comes from the rural areas. The remaining 70% deposits comes from the urban areas. So in the coming years, therefore, the bank has to concentrate and bank has to give more attention to this task of the deposit mobilization, especially in the rural areas. Why? Because still the objective of the deposit mobilization rate should be increased in the rural areas is not fulfilled. Nowadays also the deposit mobilization from the rural areas is not sufficient. So nowadays this is the requirement that the banks have to concentrate on this objective. The next problem that is faced by the nationalized bank is the diversion of the rural deposit to the urban center. We have discussed this point also here. First thing that the out of the total deposit, only 30% of the deposit is comes from the rural areas. And the second limitation is that 30% of the deposit is against go in the hand of the urban areas via way of lending activities done by the banks. Why? Because the banks are concentrating more and more on the lending activity on the rural areas, not but on the urban areas. Why? Because the profit is high on the urban areas, the chances of recovery will be high in the urban areas, the bad debt chances of NPA is low in the urban areas. So because of that point of view, they are focusing more and more on the urban areas. They are not focusing on the rural areas. But what we are talking here, we are talking about the lending facilities. Here for the lending facilities, for the lending activity, we are focusing more on the urban areas. We are focusing not more on the rural areas. Why? Because the risk factor is high in the rural areas. The chances of the NPA is high in the rural areas, and the profitability is low in the rural areas. Why? Because rural areas mostly their persons are depending on the agricultural activity, and agricultural is under the list of the priority sector. So if they are lending to the agricultural activity, so they have to lend on the cheaper rate of interest. So ultimately the profitability will be low in the rural areas. So because of that reason, we are focusing more and more on the urban area. So this is the serious matter of concern that out of the total deposit, only 30% is from the rural areas, and again that 30% goes in the hand of the urban center with the way of lending. So this is not a healthy phenomenon, and that should be therefore this should be removed. Clear? One reason of the diversion that perhaps it is the lack of the inadequate or the bankable and the credit for the development project in the rural areas. This may be the second reason. That first reason, banks intentionally don't want to lend in the rural areas, and the second reason may be that the development projects are less in the rural areas comparison to the urban areas. More and more development projects are especially in the already developed areas. So this may be the second reasons of this diversion of the rural credit. So to remove these types of limitation, the necessary measures must be taken, like the project or the development projects must be started in the rural areas. So the lending facilities will be more in the rural areas, and ultimately the development of that areas will be possible. The next limitation is about the increase in working expenses of the bank. As we all know that the working expenses are increasing if the banks are opening their banks or the branches in the rural areas. Why? Because there has been a tremendous increase in the bank working expenses of the public sector bank in the recent year. The reason is given on the second paragraph. Just to focus on the second paragraph, that the increase is mainly due to the increase in salaries, allowances, bonus, and overtime to the staff. Here, according to the study made by the committee, that the committee has give the opinion that nowadays the salary of the bankers are increasing. Here, we all know that the banking job is a white collar job. We want this banking job. Why? Because the salaries are good. Here, this is preferable for girls also, and this is preferable for boys also. Why? Because salaries in the banking sector is good. The allowances are good. Bonus is given if extra activity done. On the overtime salary is also given. And because of this, all the reasons, and the second reason is that the lavish expenditure done. You can see the tremendous expenditure done on the building and the furniture and the fixtures. Why? Just to attract the customer. Here, these types of expenses are increased. Because of this, all the working expenses of the banks are increased. On the second hand, the profit is not so good. As we already discussed that the profit of the public sector bank is low in the comparison of the private sector bank. So on the one hand, the expenses are increased, and on the second hand, the profits are low. So because of that reason, the working expenses of the banks are increasing too much. And therefore, the steps must be taken to remove these types of limitations and to remove these types of expenses of the bank. What the bank has to do? Salaries cannot be declined. Clear? Salary and allowances, bonus. If the banks are going to decline the salary, so this will be the, you can say, the demotivational factor for the employees. So what the bank can do? The bank can focus on the unnecessary expenses on the building, furniture, fixtures, and they can remove the unnecessary expenses which have done on the daily basis. On, you can say, the fraudulent activity which is done on the daily basis on the minor expenses like miscellaneous expenses. So these types of expenses must be removed so that they can remove the increase in the working expenses. Otherwise, not. The next point that we have to discuss is about the low operational efficiency that we already discussed this point that the general experience sees that the quality of the customer services which is rendered by the public sector bank is low as compared to the private sector bank. The banker of the private sector bank will be, you can say, more polite with the customers comparison to the public sector banker. Here, it may be again differ from person to person. Why? Because every person has their own quality to own quality and own behavior to deal with the persons. But even the general analysis says that the experience of the committee says that the behavior of the public sector employee is not good with the customer comparison to the private sector employee. And the second main of the reason is maybe that the red tapeism, corruptions, malpractices, irregularity, neglection of the duty, insufficiency, impolite and discourages behavior towards the customer that we already discussed. That can be no have there should not be have any place in this types of institution. But the limitation says that all these things fine in the public sector banks more comparison to the private sector banks. Here, red tapeism, I hope you know the meaning that the unnecessary rules and regulations that they have to follow to take the decisions. They know that the final decision should be this, even though they have to follow the unnecessary rules and regulations. You can say the delay in the transfer of files from one table to the another table. This is known as the red tapeism, and this is found more in the public sector bank. So this may be the reason that the operational efficiency of the public sector bank is not good comparison to the private sector bank, or you can say the nationalized bank is not good. And the next limitation that is found is about the fraud and the robberies in the banks. Here, the study says that the cases of the frauds and robberies in the public sector banks has become a matter of a great concern. Why? Because these fraud and robberies cases are more and more in case of public sector bank comparison to the even the private sector bank. So to prevent these types of cases and this type of incidents, the RBI has started a fraud monitoring cells under the administrative control of the Department of Banking Supervision in the year of June 2004. Even though the chances of the frauds and robberies are high in the public sector bank. And according to the rules that is made by the RBI, just focus on the last paragraph that all the commercial bank has to file the fraud report online through the fraud monitoring and reporting system that is managed by this fraud report monitoring field. So especially a separate field, or you can the separate department is started to reduce this types of fraud and robberies. Again, the same I am repeating. These frauds and robberies are more on the daily basis. Here, daily basis means on the miscellaneous expenses. Here, every employees of the public sector banks are doing this minor fraud. So again, this minor fraud will be result in the major loss for the public sector bank. So just to remove these types of limitations, the committee has the special sale was started by the RBI, and even the cases of the frauds are reduced after starting this sale. But even though this is the main matter of concern. Why? Because this is even though this is a high amount of the frauds are found even after starting this particular monitoring sale. So the banks has to focus on this point of view also. And the last is about the politizations in the banking operations. As we all know that the public sector bank means they are under the control of the government. But the Agricultural Credit Review Committee has observed that they have done the analysis, and according to the analysis of this committee, they have observed that the banks are over-controlled and over-regulated and over-managed by the central government as the cooperative banks by the state government. So the control should be there, of course. Yes, the rules and regulations should be there, but sometimes the over control and over regulations will be result in the less efficiency or the less operating capacity of the banks. Here, in respect to the focus on the second paragraph, that in respect of the rural loans, the committee has said that the larger number of the beneficiary has identified not by the banks here and not by the government, but the agencies or the functionaries of the political parties. Here, the person who are the parties who wants the loan, they are not identified by the banks. They are not in the personal contact with the banks. They are not in the personal contact with the government agencies, but they are in the personal contact with the political parties. So the political parties are also interfering in the lending activity of the public sector banks. So this is the main disadvantages of the public sector bank, and the committee has observed that the political interference was responsible for the wide defaults and the crop failure in the India. So this is the limitations that should be removed. That political interference should not be there in any banking operations of any bank, not only the public sector bank. In any bank, the political interference should not be there. Clear? So this is the limitation that should be removed. So this is the end of the topic. What we did in the today's lecture. In today's lecture, we have continued with the topic that is the problem faced by the nationalized bank. Starting first, 3 points we have discussed in the last lecture, and in today's lecture, we have started with the fourth point. Here, what we discussed in today's lecture, starting with the fourth point, that problem arising out of the rural branch expansion policies. Here, the rural branch expansion was the one of the main objective of nationalized bank. Even though the analysis says that this objective is not fulfilled in a good manner, some of the limitations are there. Because the limitation, first limitation is that the public sector bank or the nationalized bank are focusing more and more on just to fulfill the physical target to start the new branch or the new banks in the rural areas. Actually, they are not providing the good facility for the rural areas. The second limitation is that the quality and the quantity of the public sector banks employed are not good. Their quantity is less according to the requirement and the quality is not good. They are not having the proper training and the proper skills to perform the banking operations. This is the limitations. The next limitation is says that there is a lack of the coordination between the staff of the bank and the villagers. Why? Because staff are focusing on their needs and the villagers are focusing on their needs, and the needs of both are quite different. Staff require conventional working hours and the farmers require the banking facilities in the morning and evening times and on the marketable days. And this inadequacy, or you can say the mismatch of the needs between the staff and the villager may be result in the lack of the bonding or the lack of the coordination between the banking facilities. So this may be the limitations. Then second, we have discussed about the regional imbalances in the branch expansions. Here, more and more branches are started in already developed areas or in already developed states. They are not focusing on the underdeveloped, or you can say the undeveloped states. More and more branches are started in already developed areas, especially in the western and southern regions. And the next is about the deposit mobilization in the rural areas is not sufficient. Why? Because some of the reasons are there that substantial increase in the bank deposit after the increase in number of banks, increase in number of branch. The more and more deposits is from the you can say urban areas, not from the rural areas. The data says that only 30% of the deposit is from the urban areas. So this is a quite you can say limitations and the matter of concern that the bank has to focus on the deposit mobilization from the rural areas also. And next limitation we have discussed that the diversion of the rural deposit to urban areas, this 30% is again goes in the hand of the urban areas in the way of lending. Why? Because the development projects are less in the rural areas on comparison to the urban areas. More and more development projects are started or in already developed areas. So because of that limitations, the lending facilities is not good in the rural areas. Then the next limitation we discussed that the increase in working expenses of the banks. Why? Because two reasons are there we discussed. First thing, increase in the salaries and all of the staffs, allowances, bonus, overtime that is increasing nowadays. And the second thing, more establishment expenses done by the banks. Here for an example, they made more and more expenses on the building and furniture just to attract the customer, just to show off activity. So because of these limitations, the expenses were increased. And the second thing, the profitability of the public sector bank is low comparison to the private sector banks. So ultimately expenses are more and the profitability is low. So because of that reason, the working expenses of the banks are quite poor comparison to the private sector banks. So this is therefore the steps must be taken to remove the steps of unnecessary expenses of the public sector bank. And then we discussed that the operational efficiency of the public sector bank is quite low. Why? Because the quality of the customer services which is rendered by the public sector bank is low compared to the private sector bank. In that we have discussed some of the reasons like the red tapeism, corruption, and the inefficiency, impolite behavior of the staff of the public sector bank. These all may be the reasons. After that, we have discussed that the frauds and robberies in the public sector banks, as the analysis says that the cases of the frauds and robberies are more in the public sector bank compared to the private sector bank. And to remove these types of incidents, especially the fraud monitoring phase started by the RBI in the year of 2004. After that, we discussed that the political interference in the lending activity done by the public sector bank is more in case of if it is the nationalized bank. Here, the beneficiary who take the benefit of the lending activity through public lending, their beneficiaries are not identified by the bank. They are not identified by the government agencies, but they are identified by the political parties. So this limitation must be removed not only in the public sector bank but on in any bank in banking operation the political interference should not be there. So this is the end of the topic. Which topic we discussed, that is the problem faced by the nationalized bank. From the next lecture we are going to discuss about the NPA, that is the non-performing assets. This is the last topic for the second chapter. After completion of this NPA, the second chapter will be over. So now we are on the completion of the second chapter. So just this is the high time. Just start reading. As you all know that we are planning for assignments, so just start reading. And if you have any doubts, so you can ask the questions on the Google Classroom. Also, if you are not able to understood any points, or I will plan a live lecture for you also, or I will plan a live lecture soon. So if you are having any doubt, you can ask on the live lecture also. Now we are going to meet in the next lecture. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Have a good day. Thank you.